All right, welcome to the Earnestly podcast. I'm host Ernest EJ Christian, coming to you on sunny time change Monday afternoon here in South Florida. Of course, online with us, as he does every so often, Kyle Nash doing the game report. It's time. Not NBA, but NFL free agency is about a couple days away. So I want to touch a couple of topics before we dive into free agency period and the new season in the NFL. Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Hey, can you ask me a question though? As my NBA tutor, like people even breathe a negative word towards Serena, and everyone's up in arms. But I've seen more schmack talked on Braun in the past month and a half or more, and no one gives a flip. Is that just me?
People do care about the LeBron thing. I mean, are you saying that LeBron does he not deserve the criticisms, or in your opinion, what?
Well, no. Like I just noticed how everybody seems to universally criticize him, and it's okay. But if you criticize Serena Williams, you're a horrible human being. I'm trying to see where the difference is.
I think that annoying. Maybe this is annoying to LeBron now. I guess I don't know. The passive aggressive thing is kind of annoying. It's been for years, but now the Lakers went into playoffs.
Part of it with him is he's trying to be a GM as well too, and all that. I get it. And I'm not saying he's not worthy of some criticism. I'm just it's okay to criticize LeBron, but not other athletes. I don't know.
I'm gonna say it again. It's okay to criticize anybody you want. So that's why I get mad about when people say, "Oh, when Kevin Durant gets all pissy when media folks ask him questions." Either answer the question or don't answer the question. But don't get pissed. We have the right to ask the questions. Be a big boy about it.
Well, that's the job description. I mean, step your game up.
Thank you. Hello. I mean, it does piss me off though. Some of these players, and not just the NBA, but just in general. I wrote a piece yesterday about Antonio Brown. We'll touch on in a second. About the fact that he got mad because it was actually, go figure, it was actually on LeBron James' Show the Shop on HBO. He got mad because Shannon Sharp was very critical of him at the end of the year. I'm like, okay, what's to be mad about? You can be mad about it, but he has a right to criticize you. I have the right to criticize you. Kyle has the right to criticize you. What are you mad about?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. I'll give LeBron this much credit too. Like all the criticism he gets, he's learned to kind of just roll with it. And if AB can't be aware of the fact that he's done things like broken team rules and otherwise, and has a history behind antics, not Odell Beckham Jr., but antics, so to speak. Don't commit the crime if you can't do the time, baby.
I mean, again, it's just maybe it's just society in general. I don't know. Am I reaching there, Kyle? I mean, society today, to me, a little softer than usual.
You're allowed to say that. I'm not.
Why aren't you allowed to say that?
Yeah, that's right. I threw that card. What you gonna do?
I mean, it's society. I will say this much though, before we get to our topics for the NFL. In the case of LeBron James, I do believe it is warranted this year. It is warranted. The criticism is warranted, and then some.
Oh, I'm not saying they aren't. Let me be clear. Just like I feel some of the criticism, and the example I use with Serena Williams, I feel like that was warranted too.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. I was critical last year with that whole incident that happened with the official last year at the whatever event it was. I think it was the U.S. Open. And I was very critical of her. I mean, I thought both sides were wrong in the way they were handled, but she in my opinion, escalated the issue. So
yes,
I mean, and really, it hurt her in the end because it did two things. It made her look petty, and number two, it took away from Osaka's win in that event. But that's just me.
I agree.
So anyway,
I agree
before we get to the topics here, how is pregnancy preparedness going? Baby preparedness, because you're due your second child in June. How's that going? We're getting down to the final stretch now.
Well, we'll put it this way. The Student of the Game Studios was actually relocated to a different room in the house of the game. But we're back up and running, and we've been recording shows with both Dinner Time and Hilarity by Default.
So you gave basically the studio, the place where you had your show originally, is now the baby's room.
No, it's now the older siblings' room.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Hey man, you just gotta do, man. You add another kid in the house, you gotta make the adjustments necessary. I'm very familiar with that. Believe me. I went a couple
It's
years.
working out fine.
Yeah, I went a couple years of having my show done in the living room for a while until we got this house here, and now I'm able to do I have my own space again, so it's great.
And hey, listen to credit to Mrs. of the Game who put together all the furniture and stuff, and rightly so, kept me out of the process because things would only get broken if I were involved.
You mean in terms of the new studio?
Like building her bed, building the dresser for the older siblings' room. And hey, if we're throwing that, shouts to Blake, Josh, and Aaron. Aaron, I should say, for my crew for putting the technology together to move the studio. If we're going to throw it that way.
Oh, nice. Okay. Does Mrs. of the Game actually have any input in how your studio looks like?
She will shortly when we repopulate the walls with various posters and stuff.
Posters of what?
Anything from The Matrix to my jersey being up on the wall in the backdrop that you see in the videos in the few weeks past. Things like that.
What if I donated some stuff to your room? A picture of me and Tom Brady and Russell Wilson.
So long as there's no nudity.
Of course. Why would you think nudity? It's all innocent.
Well, because when it comes to you and Tom Brady, I just think of you two in a lewd interlude.
How a picture of me and G. Stelio yelling at you.
Oh boy. Look out.
All right. Antonio Brown to the Raiders.
TWLIO.
Oh. He'll be on the show this week, actually. And by the way, folks, I apologize for missing. I had to cancel 2 podcasts last week. First of all, my son got sick on Monday, which I had to leave. I actually had to call out of work for, which is not good for me because that's my money day. That's like my best day of the week. So I missed out a lot of money on that day. And then I got sick on Wednesday. Now, thank God it was on my days off, but I ended up missing. We were supposed to do the Shoot and Ship podcast last week, Thursday daytime, which I missed. And then we were supposed to record the Earnestly the Show podcast with me and Mark Francois, of course, and you were supposed to guest co-host with us as well too. Had to cancel that too because I was not feeling up to it, which sucked because there was so much things to talk about. There's so many topics I wanted to get into. But now we're here.
Hey, and listen, if either you and Mark Francois is available, maybe Wednesday you could jump in on the Default Assault podcast.
Yeah, hit him up, man. Hit him up. He's always up for a good time. So okay. We waited long enough. Antonio Brown saga is over. He is now a member of the Oakland Raiders. Not only did he get traded there, he got his money. The number I believe was he got an additional $30 million over 3 years added to his already existing contract. So he got what he wanted. He won. He got what he wanted. If you believe the tea leaves, you believe what you're reading in the out there in social media and whatnot. He's very happy to be in Oakland. Kyle, what's your thoughts on the onset? What's your thoughts on Antonio Brown being a Raider?
So friends don't let friends, Ernest Christian, and friends don't let friends say the saga is over or mission accomplished or anything like that until the saga is actually over. Okay,
right.
This could still totally be a Randy Moss situation in Oakland. Okay, now hopefully it's not Randy Moss in Tennessee later in his years, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
Right.
They got all this stuff and they gave away the farm, so to speak. But hey, compared to what the Steelers gave up, yeah, I got it. But
right,
and he got his money. I could definitely respect that aspect of it. I don't have a problem with Antonio Brown taking his stand as he did to get paid. Because he was in a situation where he was one of the best receivers in the league, and the Steelers had to pay somebody, or let them go, as they obviously did.
Right.
We still need to see how he performs before I crown this a win for everyone involved. Because already people are starting to throw props at the Raiders. Oh, they shipped Amari Cooper in a first and got they shipped Amari Cooper a third and a fifth and got a first in Antonio Brown. At best, it does sound like it's a comparable trade, I will grant. But again, he's got to produce.
I think
we'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, the win here for the Raiders is it's simple. I mean, outside of Brown, of course, it's also not having to give a first round pick. Period. That's all it is. You know, able to keep what they got for Khalil Mack, of course. You know, when they trade him away early in the season, of course. So that's the win for them. And now too also, and I'm getting texts too from buddies of mine saying, funny how now no one's criticizing John Gruden. And I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me this. I always said 3 to 5 years, because remember, it's a 10-year contract. So 3 years from now, we'll know the true story of whether Gruden did the right thing by trading off Khalil Mack. He's not out the woods. He's not out the woods yet.
I'm still criticizing John Gruden.
Absolutely.
I'm still criticizing John Gruden because their defense still sucks.
Yes.
You put all this money and all this effort and all these resources into frosting on a cake that ain't even close to being baked yet.
And Khalil Mack, in my
opinion, I'm not ready to celebrate yet.
It could be also. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're not there yet. I think I'm closer to being there now than I even now, especially when he did in Chicago. I mean, Khalil Mack to me is like a borderline generational player.
We're starting to see that, aren't we?
Yeah,
aren't we?
Yeah.
I knew he was really good, but one thing that can be said is when you have an offense that bad and you're still in games because Khalil Mack and company, bruh. That does plenty for a reputation for you to move towards that. You know,
and it's funny. 2 guys come to mind, and you'll like this one definitely. And I'll love this one. Lawrence Taylor and JJ Watt.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You know,
the same.
And then where do you put Von Miller in the discussion? I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, even Von. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's people coming to John Gruden thing like relax, slow down. So we'll give a couple years because hey, Brown can flop. And then what? You come back and tell me I'm wrong again? I mean, come on. So I don't know. But I think like I said, I think that for the Steelers, it's good. Get out of the way. It's over. Now you can move forward as a franchise. Let's talk about the state of the Steelers moving forward because obviously now they become more interesting. Now, does this impact the Steelers? You believe in terms of are they now officially out of that? Look, we know they missed the playoffs last year. But there were a lot of coincidental situations, Le'Veon Bell situation, of course Brown's situation, with his contract, all last year, and even some of the infighting of the players. But there's no question that the Steelers are always in the mix in terms because of their talent. They're always in the mix. That being said, now with Brown being gone, are they completely out of the discussion for the AFC Championship, or does this actually reset everything and maybe they can, now that he's gone? This could actually help him move forward.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
DJ Christian. In this division in and of itself, the Steelers were not out of the playoffs officially until Week 17 was over. Okay? Do you think if they were focused and didn't have the infighting that they would have dominated the division?
Dominated it? Yes.
Okay.
Because they were prior to Week 13 and Week 12.
Okay, correct, right? And now that they have Juju Smith-Schuster in place and Connor's doing his thing in the backfield, they're still a threat on offense. They've improved their defense with T.J. Watt and company, so that's looking pretty good. And they have a draft in play to upgrade where they need to accommodate their current lineup.
Right.
They're still a playoff team.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, here's what I also know. I know the Bengals choke away from the big moments as a team, not just Andy Dalton. I know that the Ravens have a system that is reasonable to question, can they actually sustain it on offense and defense? Because on the offensive side, you obviously have Lamar Jackson, who's running around a lot, and the suspicion is that won't be a maintainable attack. And then that defense is getting older every year, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the Browns, who think Baker Mayfield's the answer. All right, good luck with that.
I'll be honest. You ask me right now in a vacuum, who's your favorite next year to win the division? I can't not say the Steelers still because Big Ben is still good. He's not great, but he's still good.
He's still better than Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson.
And hello, yeah. I mean, their defense is still pretty solid for the most part. I mean, they still got the quarterback, all that. Bengals rebuilding. Ravens have questions. The Browns have questions still. I mean, the Browns should be better, obviously. They showed progress last year, obviously, but new coach, I don't know. There's still questions there. I think Tried and True still puts the onus on the Steelers. I got the Steelers still. Yeah.
If they end up being somehow third or fourth in the division this year, you can pretty much guarantee that even with the Roonies, it's time for Tomlin to go.
Yeah, now there's no excuse now. Bell's gone, Brown's gone. Now what's your excuse? You know?
Then we know for a fact that the lack of discipline in there, depending on how that goes, because for my money, the only way they lose is if they continue to lack focus. And who knows? Maybe they're waiting for Ben to retire to fire Tomlin so the coach can bring in whatever quarterback they want to, rather than inherit one,
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, it's actually a pretty lame, if we took away the Antonio Brown stuff, really honestly, it's actually a pretty quiet off season, honestly. Nothing really going on. Like, you almost got to find little things to talk about for free agency. I mean, Nick Foles now is the only thing now that's really even, I think Nick Foles is the only quote-unquote big name you can really discuss really on the free agency market, because all the big players who might have actually hit the market already got franchised or got re-signed already. So, he's supposed to go in Jacksonville, but yet the team has not cut Blake Bortles yet, and free agency is over 72 hours away from here. What's going on here?
Well, right, and I think the situation with Blake is his money and trying to figure out a way to make that contract work, right? Because they just extended him. I mean, okay, so they trade for Foles. Maybe the idea is that Foles is a backup again, and they're trying to put steam up Bortles' butt. Should he falter, then they'll sit him. This is not the first time we've seen this. Like, this goes back to, the days of the Jets with, Neil O'Donnell being benched eventually for this kid.
Now, real quick, Kyle, Nick Foles was not traded. He's a free agent. The Jaguars deal is in principle still, too, on top of
did I say traded? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, that was a signing. My bad.
Maybe they're trying to trade Bortles still, get anything for Bortles before they decided to cut him the day before free agency.
Well, I mean, the draft is still coming, and a lot of trades happen during that time. Let's put it this way: I see a market for Bortles to start in a place that's rebuilding, and then he can build tape to show that he's better than people think he is. And it was Jacksonville that was the problem, though I don't personally believe that.
Right.
I'll tell you, Foles. I'm not convinced Foles makes an upgrade, but I think both clubs need a change. Or not clubs, I'm sorry, parties need a change in that Jacksonville's sick of dealing with Bortles, and Bortles is probably sick of being, just lambasted regularly by the fans.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I can still see Blake Bortles starting somewhere else. I mean, he's already playing multiple playoff games. He's won multiple playoff games.
I'd start him before I started Jameis.
Ooh. Well, James have a chance to change the culture, change the narrative about him going forward, because he's going to be. I mean, unless they have a last minute change of heart, he'll be the guy in Tampa one more year. He'll be the guy.
That's the whole reason they brought in Arians, though. I mean, let's be honest.
Right, of course.
They got a guy who made that happen. Now, granted, the quarterbacks he's worked with in the past for Andrew Luck. Okay, well, that's not too impressive. Oh, wait, there's this guy. Carson Palmer, maybe you noticed where he revitalized his career? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty good guy, yeah. No, I can see him. I can see Blake Bortles starting somewhere else, though, definitely. Do you think Nick Foles can actually change? Is the problem with the Jaguars? Remember, in the AFC title game 2 years ago, they went from that. They were literally a quarter from winning the Super Bowl. Then they literally fall off the wagon last year, which, yes, Blake Bortles was not great last year. You and I discussed this throughout the year. But the problem, in my opinion, I believe you shared this also too, was bigger than Blake Bortles. Is Nick Foles the answer to the Jaguars to get back in the AFC North race?
No, but if the O-line stays healthy, they'll think it is. I have no reason to believe that the Jags will supplant either the Texans or the Colts. And for that matter, I'm not convinced they're going to do better than the Titans necessarily.
Right. Have you been following the Kyler Murray, Charlie Casserly back and forth?
I've heard some stuff in the backdrop, but I'm not really clear on it.
So Charlie Casserly, of course, is a former NFL executive. He's I believe he's still at NFL Network, I believe. And he was pretty critical of Kyler Murray early last week, and I got a lot of pushback for that. And then 2-3 days later, he came back on and he went the complete opposite. He went from saying a quote that he's nowhere close to what Patrick Mahomes is, to now he could be another Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what happened between now and then. And it goes, and to me, it highlights a little bit of a divide, I guess. That maybe it's an older guy thing. And maybe it's a pressure from, executives. I don't know what it is, but it's weird to see a guy like Charlie Casserly, who's pretty well known around the, the football, landscape. I mean, if you know, within the football landscape anyway, go from one extreme opinion to literally within 2-3 days having a complete opposite opinion on one quarterback. It's weird.
He saw some things. This happens, man. Listen, first of all, I'll admit the short span of time where it happened, that in itself is the weird part.
That's the point. Yeah, exactly.
People should be allowed to change their opinions. If they get more information that changed their mind, then he makes the adjustment. See, here's what I don't get about people. Oh, you were, especially when it's as political, I think, as it is with Kyler Murray, just like it was with Geno Smith, okay?
Right.
I see all this, and I don't know if he's the right choice. Then he saw something that made him realize, maybe the fact he's small doesn't matter so much as I thought it did. That's very interesting. Maybe he heard a stat or two that said, hey, who did the best with stats as far as getting the ball batted down? The guy who's not even 5'10". Oh, my God. Those are worthwhile things to consider. And hey, listen, as a guy who wrote about Kyler Murray as a possibility for the Miami Dolphins with the DolphinsWire and got, of course, Dolphins fans are self-loathing anyway, but just I got annihilated for that on Facebook.
That is so true. That is so true. I lived on that. It's so true.
With such intelligent takes as no or hell no. I mean, you can hear the analysis flowing from these people, just very articulately and intelligently putting my take to bed. No, sarcasm. But, I think, listen, Murray has done enough, and I've watched enough film on him to where I can really feel like I can draw a good opinion here. Murray's done enough to deserve a look. The problem with quarterbacks like that is if you roll the dice and lose, everyone's mad at you. If you roll the dice and win, you're a genius and everyone else is an idiot. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the day in the life. I mean, hey, at some point somebody thought Russell Chamomile Wilson was only a third-round pick. Figure that out. Somebody out there at some point thought that Richard Sherman was only worth a fifth-round pick.
Somebody out there thought that Blaine Gabbert was a better quarterback than Cam Newton.
There you go.
My favorite one in the decade. I still go back to that every time of this decade. That's my favorite one. That's definitely a freezing cold take. The biggest one of the 2010s or the aughts.
And I'll tell you this: as bad as I whiffed on Cam Newton, I wasn't that dumb to say that. I just thought they were both bad. Okay, well, so I was only half wrong.
So like I said, free agency starts a couple of days. It doesn't seem like it's really going to be really a big this year. Will really be a big. There's no big names in the market really. Like I said, Nick Foles, one of the only ones, and we already pretty much know where he's going. Is there any other notable ones you're looking forward to seeing? Maybe tell listeners that names we should look forward to seeing going. Maybe transit. I don't know.
I think Le'Veon Bell to the Jets makes a lot of sense, frankly.
Okay.
I know it's easy to overlook them for two reasons. A, it's the Jets. B, the Patriots are still going to win that division. But the punchline of all of that is I really like the concept of a mix. Or it's the kind of thing that fostered Peyton Manning as a rookie to evolve. He had Edgerrin James in the backfield as his rookie year, okay? So now he has an opportunity, though it's a sophomore season. Darnold has the opportunity to get a guy like Le'Veon Bell to kind of help him with his play and wisdom. You know, we'll see what happens with it. It may fizzle. You know, the Jets may not have enough of an offensive front to really make that happen. But I think the Jets can surprise you. I think you know there's going to be people that pick the Jets to do worse than 5 games, and you might see a 6-win team with the Jets. I have to look at the schedule yet, but you never know.
Right. Okay. Last thing, I'll let you go. This is off topic, of course. Have you seen Captain Marvel?
I have.
Because my wife, Mrs. Christian, saw it this weekend, and she gave it 4 or 5 stars. And the reviews I'm getting back from everybody else it's mixed. A lot of mixed bag reviews. Some people love it. Some people didn't like it. Some people think, it's all right. A lot of mixed reviews from people I'm talking to.
So, and you, I go into greater detail with Demosthenes Euclid on Hilarity by Default's Default Assault. We dropped the episode over the weekend. I am one of those that was just like, man, now understand. In the moment you're watching a Marvel movie, for me at least, and for many others I would assume, the bar is raised higher. You know, 21, and this is the 21st movie, I believe, if it's not the 22nd, and we've come to expect a certain level of excellence from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, no question. Okay? So, when this movie dropped and did its thing, it was still good enough to be a Marvel movie. If you wanted it to be Black Panther, it wasn't. If you say it's better than Black Panther, you are wrong, and I, in fact, cannot help you.
You better tell her that then, because she thinks it's better than Black Panther.
Who did?
My wife.
She's wrong.
She's
wrong.
What's funny is that she thinks Black Panther was good, not great.
Okay, and I would say that Captain Marvel is average. You know, it's not a bad movie at all, and it belongs in the Marvel canon. It does the job well enough. I was entertained about as much as I would be with an Ant-Man film. You know,
I like Ant-Man. Ant-Man was good. I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, so you see, I'm not burying the movie. I'm just saying, don't come over here and tell me that it's Black Panther, or better, you're wrong. It's not close. Moreover, I would still believe after seeing Captain Marvel that if, you know, with Brie Larson coming out with the whole female empowerment thing and all that, I would still maintain that the characters in Black Panther do more for female empowerment than Captain Marvel does, trying to outwardly show that narrative as well. But overall, the movie was pretty good. The '90s drops were cool, of course.
I heard they did a Mallrats thing too, like a tease.
Kinda, yeah.
I'm a big Kevin Smith guy. That's why it was really cool.
Yeah, no. Listen, you know, I have my own issues with Kevin Smith, the cultural commenter, but his movies are cool. What can I say?
Of course.
But when it comes to Captain Marvel, like, I still feel like Brie Larson as an actress just doesn't feel like a superhero to me. Like, you got the comparison kind of being Wonder Woman is the next best example, but it's not really fair because, you know, Captain Marvel as a human is not an Amazon, you know. So that's not really a fair comparison, but Gal Gadot has a presence. I know that not only can she kick my butt, I know she's a better person than me just when she walks on the screen. I don't get that from Brie Larson. And I kind of feel like they're trying to they made kind of an Iceman out of her, you know, from the X-Men, like a Bobby Drake type who's trying to joke around and stuff and not be, I don't know. It was, I don't know if it's Brie Larson, the actress's fault, other than the physical appearance. I feel like they were trying to do too much all at the same time with the character, and they had 6 different writers on it too, by the way, so you can definitely see some disconnects all over the place.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to see it this week, though. I mean, like I said, some listeners don't know, like, you know, one of my issues I have with seeing movies now, having 2 kids, that we can't get a babysitter in time, and my wife's one of those people that, especially in Marvel movies, she wants to go the day of, and which is cool, obviously. So if we can't get a babysitter to see it together, she'll go watch it on her own time with her brother or whatever, or friend, and then I'll go on my own time, and she'll watch the kids, vice versa. So again, she elected to go first this time as well. Was she can do that because she's the boss. Yeah, that's now my dilemma now. I need to. I want to see the movie really bad because I'm hearing so many different. I'm hearing people tell me, some friends of mine tell me it's top 3 or 4 Marvel movie of the Marvel movies of it's in that ilk. That's all.
Okay, well, I need you to go to these friends of yours and make sure that they double check their HR regulations at work. They need to be careful about drugs in the workplace because I don't want to see any of your friends lose their job. Top 3 evidence. What? You're high. I can name 3 Marvel movies better already. You ready? I'm going to do it. Black Panther, Infinity War, Ragnarok. Next.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, before you go, anything to promote?
Of course. Hey, man, listen, man. I'm still doing the thing on Sports Media Pass. Hey, still covering the Apollos. They'll be playing on Saturday at home, which I will be in the press box for.
5-0?
5-0, facing the second best offense in the AAF and the Arizona Hotshots. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Check that out on sportsmediapass.com, a product of BlueHQ Media. Find me on Twitter at the SOTG, on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. We are not recording dinner time this week, but we do have episodes out there. Check that out on iTunes, Stitcher. I think we're on Spotify too. I didn't check yet, but we're probably there. Oh yeah, EJ Christian confirms. Booyah.
I'll check it. I'll check it, make sure. Keep going. I'll tell you now.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that too. And then, of course, hilarity by default, as I cited before. And check out my writings on the DolphinsWire of USA Today. I had a chance to drop all the products today. Look at you going throughout the show. I didn't even really need that last little bit, EJ Christian.
Sexy.
Show us some love to the guests.
Sexy, man. And by the way, yes, it is indeed on Spotify. On the latest episode 31, Bloom with the Flowers.
Oh, yeah.
See?
So,
John,
hey,
Luke,
man,
and Cisco.
great times all the way around. What's that?
John, Luke, and Cisco.
Hey, don't you dare front on Jean-Luc and Cisco, bro.
Don't front, brother.
I'm just saying.
No front. No front here.
Hey, man. But until next time, bud, class dismissed.